Hello, Saddlers fans. Welcome to a bonus episode of the Saddlers podcast. I'm your host, Simon Hill. Of course, I couldn't do this alone. I'm joined by the man who brought you the first ever episode of the Saddlers podcast with our very own centre-back, Priestley Farquharson. I am joined, of course, by my co-host, the one, the only, Paul Joannou. Paul, welcome. We're back again.
We are back. It's great to be here. Really enjoyed the first one with Priestley, so looking forward to what's to come and obviously chatting to our next guest.
Yeah, very exciting. And before we do get to that, I mean, talk to us very briefly about the deep dive. And it was such an insightful interview with Priestley Farquharson. Some things that we didn't know about him, and you managed to get that out. It's a really good interview. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you go and check it out after this episode. That is episode 1. But what an interview.
Oh, Priestley was amazing. You know, thanks to Priestley for being so open as well. You know, he really told his story and found out so much. And there's some difficult conversations as well. Obviously, what he's been through with the injuries and how he opened up and how it affected him. But the mental challenges he came through and, you know, the mental strength he's had to come through it and have that change of mindset was really insightful. I loved hearing about his exploits playing Champions League football as well.
Yeah.
For Connors Key. His time at Newport, some of the, you know, and then the funny thing was he didn't realise he played against Matt Sadler. I thought that was quite funny when he found out that. So I think that was probably the most revealing thing about it from his point of view.
Yeah.
So, really good chat, really open, and you know it was about 45, 50-minute chat. It just went so quick. He was brilliant. So I think that's what this environment's about. I think we just want to get to know the human being.
Yeah.
Because you know it's great. People in football as well and sport. They've always got stories to tell. They've always got so many stories to tell, whether it's in their personal life or their sport or a mixture of both. So I think that's what we want to see on the Saddlers podcast, just people telling their stories. And it's a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what this show is all about. It's about unravelling the person behind the person on the pitch. We will have our current players, we'll have former players, and anyone who's also been an influence within Walsall Football Club as a whole. This show is going to, explore those in a lot of different ways. But we have got a very special guest, an incredible guest who's turned up at the Pallet Trap Bescott Stadium on a couple of occasions now to come and showcase what he's all about. He's a lad from Walsall, and he's making waves up and down the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, recently crowned, and let me get this right so I don't mess it up, recently crowned the English and WBA Flyweight champion. I'd like to welcome the man taking the boxing scene by storm, Hamza Uddin. Hamza, welcome to the Saddlers podcast.
Mate, what an introduction. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Happy to be here.
It's great to have you again. We've had you down at the Pallet Trap Bescott Stadium on a couple of occasions now where you're starting to really branch out. You've told us a few stories, but we're going to really open you up today and get into the man, Hamza Uddin, where it all began to where it is now. And it's great to have you here.
Yeah, man, of course. I've got many stories to tell, so I'm sure we've got plenty of time to tell them now.
And Paul, I mean, this has been in the works for some time, hasn't it? And it's great to finally have a proper sit-down interview with him, rather than just 2 or 3 minutes on the pitch at half-time. We're actually going to open this one up and dive real deep.
Yeah, it's great to see. Just first of all, congratulations, Hamza, on the title win.
Thank you.
Incredible from yourself. It's great that you were able to bring the belts here as well when you brought them to the stadium the other week for the game that you came to. So, yeah, really excited to have you on and find out a bit more about your career. But I think for me, what we're seeing at the moment in Walsall, the growth of sport, you're putting Walsall on the map. I'm hoping Walsall Football Club, the team, starting to put Walsall on the map, having obviously reached the playoff final last year. Some really eye-catching results. And then, Hamza's really catching the eye and really putting Walsall on the map. So I think this is a big celebration of Walsall, the town, as well, isn't it, Hamza?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's not many, if any, from around here. So to be that person it's an honour, it's a privilege. It's an extra bit of pressure in the ring, but we don't mind a bit of pressure. So yeah, that's what brings out the performances, and this is only the beginning.
That's great. And let's go right back. You are from Walsall and you found boxing at a very early age. How was your upbringing and where did you start to face the challenges whilst you're navigating through childhood into boxing?
I started, my first memory in boxing is being 1 year old and punching the bags in nappies. My dad was a boxer and a kickboxer back in his day, so he was hoping to be what I am now, the first kind of big athlete in combat sports from around here. That didn't happen because he got injured. So his gloves and all his bags and stuff were laying about in the house. So I picked it up from there, really. That's where I really knew the sport from. And as I got older, I still liked it. You know, I'd play like Fight Night on the PS2 or 3, I don't know what it was. I'd play all that stuff, and I just love it more and more and more, to the point where I was asking my dad to go to the gym. He said, no, you're not going to the gym. But I asked him every single day. And then that changed to, I'll take you next week then. That happened for like a year. Then eventually he folded and he took me to the gym. And the first time I went to the gym, like I do now in the ring, I was sparring and I was beating people up and I was sticking my tongue out and bobbing my head in and out of range. And there was like so much raw talent. And I think that's when like my dad was like, yo, we got something on our hands here. And ever since then, we've just been working, and here we are.
And here we are. And how was that journey for you whilst you're discovering boxing? And you've got the support from your father, who in his own right was about to explode onto the scene, looking like he was going to be a big name before an injury, which we'll get into a little bit later. But was that part of the inspiration for you? Was that the thirst coming from your family and knowing how much you love this sport?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's still even now. You know, my one of my biggest inspirations is my family. I take a lot of my strength from my family. You know, we're very tight and we're very, strong. We've got a very strong bond, as we do with the community as well. And that's what brings us strength, and that's what gives me that extra motivation in the ring to perform the way I do.
Yeah, just touching on that, obviously growing up, it's quite clear from very early age, you saw something in yourself, and then your dad very quickly saw that in yourself. So how do you sort of navigate that? Because, you know, with football and other sports, you're doing it in school pretty much every week, aren't you? But I imagine it's not something that's incorporated in your education. So how are you incorporating boxing around school, and what sort of support did your dad give you? And, you know, is it a case of, was he the one who's taking you all across the country for various different things as well? Like, has he been on that whole journey with you and almost living a bit of his sort of childhood through you as well?
Yeah, definitely. It was that. Like you said, it's not a sport like football where you just grow up with it. Like everyone, like all of us, we grew up with football and we play at school, after school. Boxing's never like that. Boxing's seen like as a very physical, very violent sport. It's not. It's an art in itself, and it's good. It's good for young kids to do, you know, to bring each other together. But that's separate. But yeah, there was not many like opportunities, you know, any like. There was no talk about boxing, you know, in schools and after school clubs and whatnot. So yeah, it was always me and dad going to the local boxing gym, Plek Boxing Club it was called. Yeah, he taking me there every night, like, and obviously as I got better, no disrespect, but we had to go to around the country, even around Europe, to get sparring and get competitions to kind of build myself up. So yeah, it was hard in that sense. We had to put a lot of time and effort into it, a lot of traveling. But yeah, man, it paid off, definitely.
And you've openly discussed the sacrifices that you had to make whilst most teens were playing football or falling out of trees and having a laugh with their friends in the street. You were out training. All you wanted to do was get in the gym. All you wanted to do was box. And what was it like for you now that you look back? Of course, clearly a success. But do you think you missed out on a lot as a child?
Yeah, definitely. I missed out on a lot. I've never been to like a birthday party. I've never been to the park and have a kick about with my mates. Never done that, so I don't know what that feels like. Loads of little things, like I've never had a fizzy drink. Don't know what that feels like. It's like little things like that I've had to sacrifice through my childhood. I look back and I sometimes feel sorry for myself, but at the same time, like none of the boys have any of these, so I don't really mind, to be honest. But yeah, I had to. But at the end of the day, with anything, you have to sacrifice, and you have to sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice, you don't get. Whatever you give to the sport or to whatever you're doing, you're gonna get it back. You know, God's merciful. He's not that unjust. He'll give it back. And we sacrificed a lot of time, effort, energy into the sport, but we're starting to reap the rewards now. It's a few years later, but yeah, starting to see it was kind of worth it. Yeah.
What are the training regimes like at that age? I can imagine they're very different to what they are now.
Yes, definitely not as intense and extreme as they are now. But even for then, like, Because remember, you do the whole day at school, no rest, eat a bit, and straight to the gym. And we'd put shifts in the gym, to be fair. We'd put shifts in the gym, we'd train hard. And obviously with me, I'm like all or nothing. So you put me in a boxing gym, I'm either just not gonna, I'll just stay at home, or if I'm going to come and turn up, I'm going to give my heart and soul. And that's what I've done every single day after school, straight to the gym in the evenings and smash the bags or smash people's heads in.
It sounds like you got into such a habit there and it was so routine for you. But earlier you mentioned about some of the challenges, having to find somewhere to go and fight and spar. So how difficult were those challenges? Were there ever days where you're like, oh, we've got nowhere to go, we're desperately trying to find somewhere? Like, what? Can you give us a bit more insight into what challenge that gave you in your
Yeah,
early
it is.
career?
It is very stressful. I mean, Dad's lost all his hair, stressing about that kind of stuff. You know, it's hard. You know, especially as a young kid, and just being me by myself. It's not like he's got a big group of lads to take. It's just me and Dad against the world. And obviously, it was tough. You know, traveling to find sparring, to find fights, and to find the right tournaments and the right places that are going to develop me. And you know, not even fall into the trap of people trying to like take me under their wing. Because when someone sees talent, they try to take it for themselves, and it becomes about them rather than the actual boxer. Whereas I know my dad, he's got my best interests at heart, so I can trust him. But staying away from those kind of distractions, it was hard, of course, and it still happens now. It still happens now, but especially being a young kid where you don't understand them, people can tempt you to say, "Oh, I've got this, you know, big gym, and you know, you can come and train with me, and you can do this." It is hard. It is hard, but me and Dad just stayed true to what we know and what we believed in, and it's still the same now. I'm still like the little kid now, and he's the dad that says something, you know, I don't like it, but I've got to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I know it's for the best, and I know he's got my best interests at heart.
And your father, who sat off camera at the moment, is your head coach, your mentor, your inspiration. How has that relationship grown over the years, knowing that your dad is by your side? Because a lot of people struggle having family involved in their professional life, but with you, you're thriving under it.
Yeah, of course. Like I said earlier, like I'm like an old man. I'm like a proper family man. Like, you know, everything my family says, you know, I take it into my heart and I believe it. And Dad being my coach, you're right. It can go one of two ways. It can go really south, or it can be really special. And I think that's what me and Dad have. Me and Dad, we do have a special connection in that sense. Don't get me wrong. It's not rosy all the time. There is, I know we're both fighters, so there is sometimes a lot of testosterone bubbling about. So yeah, it gets, you know, obviously not physical. We don't scrap, but it gets, you know, it gets tough sometimes. Obviously, me being a 22-year-old man, I want to tell Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm the man. I know what I'm talking about. I'm the one who got the belts. But you know, you can't say that. There's a level of respect that I have for my father, not even as a coach, but just as a father. So when he's my father and coach, it's completely different, and I wouldn't sacrifice it for the world. I think I owe a lot of my success, probably all of my success, to my father.
Is there a way of separating personal and professional between yourself and your father?
No, there's not. And I think my mom's sick of it, because all we talk about at dinner is that boxing. Oh, did you see the fight the other day? Did you see? What's happening next week? So yeah, I think my mom's a bit sick of it. But nice. We love the sport. We just love the sport. We love boxing. So it's all we ever talk about, and I think that's why we're so good, because we've taken it not just like as a hobby or as a sport or somewhere to make a bit of money. It's our whole lives.
So we've laid the foundations out now. Let's fast forward to your first boxing fight, 10 years old, right? Which is mind-blowing to me, Paul, to think that, you know, you were stepping in the ring at 10 years old, full of confidence, weren't too sure at the moment, but you went straight in. Well, maybe you were a bit short, but, you know, you came into your first fight at 10 years old. What do you remember about that?
It's a very long time ago. It was at the Darlaston Town Hall, so quite local. I was 10 years old. I must have weighed about 27 kilos. 27. I was tiny. Well, I'm not very big now, but I was tiny then. Yeah, I think that was probably the only fight I was ever nervous for. I was actually nervous before the fight because I was like big crowd and first time ever stepping under the lights. But once like the first 30 seconds went, I was like my usual hands low and dancing and messing about, and yeah, it was. I felt at home, and I got a lot of people coming up to me after saying, "Oh, it's like you've had 20 fights. You look like you fought forever." And I was like, "It's just another day in the office, isn't it?" But yeah, literally the same. It's the exact same now. But yeah, it's a very long time ago. But that set it all for what we are now.
So what is the setup like for boxing at that age? Does it feel like a professional fight? Does it feel like a senior fight? Do they have Do they try and give you that sort of treatment in the build up to it, in like the walk on element of it? Is it almost like an adult's fight, or is there obviously a lot of different rules, different? What is it like for
It's different.
that age?
It is different. I mean, from personal level, like the nerves and the experience is exactly the same. But in terms of like the money, is nowhere near. Like I fight for the biggest promotion in the world. I'm with Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. So we've got all the bright lights and the big ring walks and the big massive arenas. Whereas then it's like fighting in little pubs. So it's not ideal. It's very small. Obviously we've got big gloves and head guards and vests, so you can't see the abs, unfortunately for some people. But yeah, it's there's not that much money in amateur boxing, which is sad, unfortunately. But I think at the higher level, as I got to the higher level, then you start to see it a bit more. But especially at that age, no, there's nothing like that. But it's all about gaining that experience. And some experiences like that, they help you a lot. Even obviously now we have the big changing rooms and the big arenas and stuff. But it's humbling to have to fight in a pub and you're doing your pads by the urinals because there's no space anywhere else. So it's humbling, but at the same time, it makes you stronger and it builds you for when you're at this sort of level, yeah.
And after that first fight, did you realise this could be more than just a dream? This could be more than just a passion. This could be your profession as well.
To be honest, I thought that for a very, very long time, but I think the people around me probably thought that when I won my first national title. I won my first national title at, I think, 13 or 14 years old. And I think the way I performed in that tournament, it was like a big national tournament. And to become number one in the country, I think that's when everyone else started believing. But I've got like unwavering self-belief. I thought that since I was like a baby. I'm going to be like a world champion. And it's funny actually because like I used to be in my mirror. And obviously I used to have my boxers on and pull my socks up all the way up to my knees. So I had like big boxing boots on. And I'd be shadowboxing in the mirror. I always envisioned that I'd be like a professional boxer and I'd be a world champion. But yeah, I think everyone believed when I was like about 13, 14. That's when everyone kind of believed the dream.
If you weren't a boxer, what would you be?
I have no idea. You know what? Everyone says like, oh, I'd be in jail, I'd be a criminal. I wouldn't. I'm a good boy. I'm actually a good kid. I'm not like that.
Is he a good boy, Dad? He is.
Yeah.
Why do you think they say that?
I don't know. I think everyone thinks if you're a fighter, that means you're dumb. Like, dumb people fight only. I'm a smart kid. I got straight A's in my GCSEs. I got A star in my A levels. So I'm a smart kid. I could have been anything I wanted to be, but I chose boxing. But if I wasn't boxing, I have no idea what I would be.
You were studying business management, I think, if I remember correctly. What do you think that would have been like for you? What would that have looked like if you were to take on more within that, responsibility? Business management's it's a big scope.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to be honest, I didn't really like it, but it's because I'd obviously finished school, and Dad's like a typical Asian parent where they focus so much, they value education so much. So he's like, you got to go uni. I was like, oh, Dad, I don't want to go uni. Like, I want to box now. He's like, no, you have to go uni. So I was like, scrolling through, what's the easiest course I could go for? And that's no disrespect to business management. I'm sure there's many smart people in business management, but for me, that was like, I thought that was the easiest thing I could do because in my A levels, I got an A star in business. So I'm like, I'll find that easy. So I just find the easiest course I could do, and I'll just do that. That's why. But that would never have been like a career path for me. I had to say it wasn't my thing. I don't know. I was good with numbers. So maybe I don't know. I was good with numbers. I've never imagined it. Like my school teachers always used to say, oh, like if I'd mess about in school, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna be a boxer anyway, man. I don't need this. And they said you need a plan B, but I never had a plan B. Still not got a plan B.
Do you think as a side hustle you'll use business management and those grades that you got at some point in your life?
No, I don't think I will. No, I've got like a big mouth, so I'll probably do like ads and promotions and stuff for people, like promote chicken shops and stuff. I'll probably do that maybe.
Have you actually been approached by any sort of like sponsors or like things like that to get involved, like even locally, like could be involved in an advert? Obviously, I know you've done stuff with us, so that sort of helped raise your profile. But now your profile's getting bigger. Do you feel like there's a lot more outside influence? I remember when you were saying as a kid, even then you were getting offered, oh, I could take you to this gym, that gym. So I imagine now, I know we fast forward in a bit, have you started having like offers from whatever, various different things started coming out your ear hole all of a sudden?
Yeah, of course. I've got some. I'm blessed to have some good sponsors now, and like for example, the other day we signed with Foot Asylum, so we've signed a deal with Foot Asylum. That's pretty good. But yeah, cause not only my boxing, cause I've got quite like a bright personality, and I can talk a bit. Like I do get a lot of people, especially my sponsors, like doing like videos, and do like promoting. And I'm good at that kind of stuff. I'm a good waffler. I really like eating waffles as well. Which is ironic.
Yeah.
I'm a good waffler, so I can talk. I've got good energy. I bring good energy, so that's helped me a lot. Not just the boxing, but obviously I've raised my profile with boxing, but with my mouth as well. I'm doing all right. And it's good because my TikTok followers, I get them all from like, my interviews. Like I'm just calling everyone out and stuff, and I'm saying how good I am, and I'm getting the hate comments saying, "Oh, you're not that good," and I was like, "Sure, yeah, I am." So it's good. It's good to be honest. Yeah, I've had some good opportunities, and this is only the beginning. I'm only 6 fights in, so eventually we'll get some good stuff coming.
Well, let's get to your 6 fights. You're undefeated. Firstly, congratulations. The stats speak for themselves. 6-0, 3 knockouts. How do you feel you've grown as a fighter since that 10-year-old boy first stepped into the ring to where you are now, apart from the obvious?
Yep. I've grown a lot, physically, mentally, spiritually. I've been through so much. I went from that little chubby nerd to a fighter who can really crack. I can really hurt people, which is we probably shouldn't talk about hurting people now, but I'm a good boxer. I'm very skillful. I've used what God's blessed me to good use. So I'm intelligent. I'm very sharp. I've got good reflexes. I've got the lot, and we've worked hard over them 12, 13 years to build myself into what I want to be now. We've had to study fighters. We've been up sometimes till 3, 4 a.m. in the morning studying fighters, trying to be different and trying to learn new things, and all of that's coming to good use now. And I'm a fighter now that's very complete. And there's not many flaws about me. And if there were some flaws, then if someone tried to exploit them, then God help them, because I've got something else in the bag. So.
So we're still on 70% at the moment for Hamza Uddin.
65.
65. Dad's laughing over there. You teamed up with Matchroom late 2023. Had to wait a little for your first fight with them. How did that first conversation come around for you, and how did the relationship with Sam Jones grow?
So that all started when I was on the Team GB squad for the Olympics 2024. So I could have been an Olympian, but I was a very good amateur, beating everyone up as I do. I was undefeated for so many years. This was about 6 months before the Olympics. Or not before the Olympics, before the Olympic qualifiers, which was just before the Olympics. Me and Sam Jones got talking. Well, it's funny actually, because I texted Sam Jones when I was like 14 years old. And I said, Sam, I'm going to be your best ever signing, watch. And I don't know what he replied. He must have put like a laughing face or something for us, some idiot kid messaging him. I bet he got loads of that. But yeah, so when I was on the GB squad before the Olympic qualifiers, like I got talking with Sam Jones. I don't know how it started. I don't actually remember, but got talking with Sam, and then we talked, and he says, you know what, Matchroom, am I interested? So then we done all that, all the, the boring stuff, talking about the contracts and stuff, and then they were ready. It's like, yeah, we want to sign you. We got a contract ready for you. Got some good dough for you. What you reckon? And we had to have a good think about it, because everyone obviously values the Olympics. But I think the decision was to turn pro, not because of the money. Well, a bit of it was because of the money, because if I'd gone and won an Olympic gold medal and then turned pro, I would have been on the same kind of money and same sort of thing anyway. But that was one part of it. But the main part of it was my dream. My dream was to be world champion. Always. It's always to be world champion. It wasn't Olympic gold. Don't get me wrong, if I win the Olympics, I won gold, I won't be complaining. I won't be complaining with a gold medal, but it was never like, oh, Dad, I want to be an Olympic gold medalist. It was always, Dad, I'm going to be a world champion. So I thought, I just felt like it was right. And I like to go with my gut. You have to. You can't be scared. You just got to go for it. And I went for it and said, let's go, let's sign up. So then we signed up end of the year, then made my debut a few months later.
So obviously now you've turned pro. That means the Olympic dream sort of...
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's it. You can't do that now. So
yeah.
is that, again, another one of the sacrifice you make? Because, a lot of boxers have gone down that route. Obviously, I think Amir Khan's a notable one, isn't he? Who won the Olympics in 2004, I think it was.
Yes.
So was that, how tough a decision? Was that a big decision for you to say, right, the chance to represent my country at an Olympic level's gone. It's all about almost representing myself now and reaching my personal goals.
Yeah, of course, it's a big sacrifice, There was many people saying you're mad for not wanting to do the Olympics, but we've got a short career in boxing, as it is in football. You've got a very short career. We put so much into it, we don't make it past 40 in these type of physical sports. So we thought we need to make good use of our time now. And because of my style, I fight out reflexes. I've got a crazy, weird style. You got to be young. You got to be fresh to use a star. So I didn't want to be wasting another few years of my life at the Olympics. I just thought, you know what, it's a risk, of course, but I just thought, you know what, let's go pro now and let's just get to work. And so far, praise God, it's been a good decision. But we're just going to keep going, gain that experience, and yeah.
We spoke about this briefly last time when you came to the Pallet Trap Bescott Stadium, the 11th of October 2025. You created history, the vacant WBA International Championship and the English Flyweight Championship, if I've got that correct, were both up for grabs. It was between yourself and Paul Roberts, who had been he had a little bit more experience, I'd say. But you went into this fight confident, you knew what you wanted, and you came away with it as well. How did it feel on the night, in the lead up to the fight, and then afterwards?
It was a good fight, yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good training camp. I was prepared really well. Paul Roberts is a good fighter. I think he turned pro in 2017, so I must have been about 13 years old then. So he's mad experience. He's got a lot of experience under his belt. And his plan was to use it. But nah, I didn't let him. Straight from the first bell, I ran across the ring and gave him a left hook just to set the tone. I was really up for that fight, and yeah, I boxed really well. No one knows I was boxing with one hand because my right hand was injured. So I boxed in one hand. No one knew that. I was just jabbing him. When I see the hook, boom, throw the hook. In between, I'd start dancing, so he wouldn't notice my right hand's hurting. So I'd start dancing and messing about. But I was really good for that fight. And then I think got to round 5, and I dropped him with three body shots in a row, crunching body shots. His ribs look bad after. They look bad. I wouldn't want to be taking them. But 3 body shots in a row, and yeah, that's all she wrote.
The first round saw you almost toying with him again. You mentioned you set the tone. You came out the gate, hit a right hook, and you could see straight away his face, had really taken that. Was there a moment during that first, second, or third round where you thought, oh, I've got this now?
I'm not sure if there was a specific time, because in boxing, you never know. You could switch off for 1 second and you could wake up in the changing rooms. So there's never a point where you want to say you've got it, but I'm confident in myself from the start. Like, even before I've even walked in the ring, I'm like, yeah, I got this in the bag. But I don't know. I felt comfortable in there, to be honest. I felt good. I wasn't really looking for the knockout. It's a weird one. When you look for the knockout, you never get it. You stiffen up, you tighten up, and he sees you coming. So I was just doing my normal thing, just boxing, using my speed, using what I have, listening to the corner. Well, not listening to the corner, actually, because my dad was proper giving it me large in the corner, saying, oh, he's well open for the backhand, what are you playing at? And that was like 2 rounds, so I ignored him because I didn't want to tell him, because I know what's going to happen when I tell him. So then he came to, like, I think the 3rd or 4th, and he was like, what are you playing at? You're not letting the right hand go. What? There's something wrong with you. I was like, Dad, my hand's gone. Why do you think I'm not throwing the backhand? Then his face just dropped. And I was like, I regretted telling you because I knew that was going to happen. And his face just dropped and he went mad panicky. Like, he was like, okay, just stay in the jab and stay away. Like, I'm like, Dad, you don't worry about it. I got this. Because I've had it before. So, yeah, I didn't really listen to the corner in that sense. But everything else I was listening. And it all went to plan, really. We prepared for a while. And, yeah, it all went to plan. It was good, man. I enjoyed it. That's the main thing. As long as you have fun in there.
And you incorporated your personality in there as well. Everyone saw that on show.
Of course, yeah. There's not a fight where I don't. I've had a couple of dance moves and a bit of showboat in here and there. It's just who I am. It's just my way of having fun. It's not. I get it a lot, actually. I'm being disrespectful to my opponent, but any opponent of mine will always tell them I'm very respectful. They're like my mates after. Before I had no chance. Not mates with no one before my fights, but after.
Bit of the TikTok going on.
You know what I mean? It's not no disrespect personally. I'd never say, oh, he's crap, or he's ugly, or no, nothing like that. I'm not like that, but it's confidence in myself.
Just 2 things I want to pick up on there. You see a lot of it when boxers say they lose a fight and they've had sort of an injury. They really use that as an excuse and a way to get a rematch. You obviously didn't do that. You almost completely try and hit it, and you almost boxed handicap. So first of all, how do you not let that get into your mind? How do you not let that drop your head and think, oh, I'm weaker here, I've done all this prep and now my right hand's gone. But so how do you get over that barrier? And another thing you mentioned, you're obviously facing a really experienced fighter. Does that change anything for you going into a fight as well? How do you navigate a more experienced boxer rather than perhaps one of a similar age who's probably going to have the same sort of rawness rather than sort of tactical mindset, if you like?
Yeah, talking about the hand, I mean, my record is 6-0 with 3 KOs, I think, with 2 good hands. I think I would have knocked every single one of them I can whack. but obviously when you got one hand, it's a bit harder. So I never like to say it because I feel like when you say something, it always comes into existence. It always happens. You believe it, like. So if I walk around and say, "Oh, my hand's hurting," before the fight, it's gonna play on my mind. So I'll never say it. It's a weird thing I've got. Like, it's even in like normal life where, like, if I've got a headache, I'll never say I've got a headache because as soon as I say it, I'll be lazy. I'll feel sorry for myself. I hate it. So I can't say it. So after the fight, I'll say this, and this, but I'll never say it before the fight. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like words are so important. You can't say things that you don't believe or you don't want to happen to you, because if you say it, it will happen. And going on to Paul, his experience, it's like a different thing. I mean, I would prefer someone younger and a bit less experienced, because then they'll be a bit more wild, and that makes my job a lot easier because I'll just step back and uppercut your head off. But when they're more experienced, they're picking their moments a bit better, and they're thinking. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've got to think, because then he's the one that wants me to come, and he's gonna try and counter me. So I'm like, okay, cool, I can do the experience game, because I'm like an old man myself. I'm a thinker too. I'm like, okay, cool. It is a bit different. It is a bit different. You have to change your game plan slightly, but at the end of the day, boxing is hit and not get hit. So it doesn't matter how experienced you are. You could have 10 fights or 100. If you can't hit me and I'm hitting you, I'm gonna keep hitting you till you're gone.
When Roberts goes down for the first time in the 5th round, I think it was, what's going through your mind?
Shall I be honest with you? Before the fight in the hotel, me and my brother were talking, and we were like, we says if I knock him out, then we're gonna do this silly dance after the fight. So then after every knockdown, including the first, I'm not even thinking about how I'm gonna stop him or how I'm gonna try and get him down again. I'm just thinking, oh, stay down so I can do the dance. So after every knockdown, I'm just thinking about the dance. I want to do the dance. I'm like, done the first knockdown, I turn around, oh, he's getting up. Second knockdown, I hit him again. He's down. Oh, please don't say he's getting up. Oh, he's getting up. So then the third knockdown, I didn't believe that he was gonna. I thought he was gonna get up again. I was like, oh, and he stayed down. Then I done my little shoulder dance, which went viral. But yeah, that's, I was just having fun in there. I wasn't even thinking about trying to hurt him. I'm not like that. It's just natural. But yeah, it was good. A lot of adrenaline. So I'm just there screaming. But
What was it like as well for you to hear the words of Sam Jones afterwards, who praised your performance as a globally renowned performance, talking about how much you're going to benefit the boxing scene now and bring it back, to its heyday?
Oh, of course, yeah. Sam's been a big believer in me from the start, from the very beginning, from years and years and years ago. And yeah, it makes me proud to be able to, all the words that he said when I was younger, to put them into existence now. I said to him the other day, Sam, I bet you wouldn't believe you'd have a superstar from Walsall. He's like, mate, would never have thought it, but it's mad. Yeah, it is mad, actually. Being from Walsall and to be able to work with people like Sam Jones and Eddie Hearn, you would never have thought it. You know what? To be honest, us lot from Walsall, Black Country, even West Midlands, I feel like we get looked down upon.
We do.
Nationally, globally, we get looked down upon. We really do get looked down upon. We get taken for a joke. They talk about the yam yam accent and the brom accent. Well,
they get us mixed up, don't they?
I know, but luckily my accent's not too strong, and I'm always in London, so I've been saying otherwise they would have killed me. They'd have cooked me in the comments. But yeah, seriously, they do. They look down on us. They think we don't matter. They think we're useless. They think we can't do nothing. But that ends with me. I want to change that.
I think what was great about that moment then was the realization that I saw in your eyes. It was almost like, actually, it's just clicked. This is what it is.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. It's like you envision these things for years and years and years, and when they finally come off, you're half in disbelief. It's like deja vu. You've lived this over again and again and again, but you still don't believe it's real, and then you're like, yo, it's real. It's crazy, man. But yeah, it's only the beginning. Only the beginning.
Yeah, you mentioned, obviously now you're with Matchroom and all that, and obviously Eddie Hearn as well. So what's their sort of messaging been to you, and what's next for Hamza Uddin?
They're very excited, They're very excited. I'm the full package. I've got everything. I've got power, speed, skills. I can talk. I've got a style that people like to watch. I've got a style that people also hate to watch. So I've got the best of both worlds. I've got half the people saying how amazing I am, and I've got half the other ones saying that I'm going to get knocked out because I've got my hands by my waist. So they're excited. I'm very marketable. So yeah, they see me as the next superstar of boxing, which I said in my interview after. So yeah, it's exciting times. Very exciting.
There's a boxer currently I really like, and that's Adam Azim. I know he's like a different weight category too, but I remember watching his fight in the Coventry Skydome in 2022. That's when I've seen him live, and I think it was a first round knockout within seconds. He's been on that trajectory, just been like that for him. I don't know if you follow him as well, but Is he someone where you see that journey? Because I think he's about a year older than you as well. So is he someone you sort of see the journey he's going on, think I can emulate that? Because there's a lot of big talk around him as well, isn't there?
You know what? Me and Adam, I've known Adam since we were like 10, 11 years old, and we used to like terrorize everyone in the amateurs. So it'd be like every tournament, it'd be like me and Adam beating everyone up. So I've known Adam for a very long time. He's a good lad. He's a very nice lad. He's a good friend of mine, Adam. And yeah, he's doing very well. He's got another fight coming up in a couple of weeks. And yeah, of course, me and him, we've got the same goal. Our goal is to beat people up, rack up the belts, and inspire the next generation. And because we're very similar in age, we're on a very similar trajectory too. And I hope the best for him. He's a good kid. And yeah, man, it could be me and him the face of boxing in the next few years. Who knows?
That'd be unreal.
Imagine.
Boxing's next superstar is how you signed off that night.
Boxing's next superstar, Hamza Uddin. You
Manifest it.
I mean, it's coming true, you know. It's coming true. Give it a few more years, and that's going to be a reality. It's still surreal to think that someone from Walsall is able to fight on that level and to perform at that level. It's amazing, man. I'm so proud to be able to do that. It gives you that extra hunger, that fuel to do it, not just for myself, but for my hometown. You know, every single fight that I win, every belt that I bring home is not just for myself, of course. It's good for myself. I'm getting my name out there, but it's for my hometown too. It's for Walsall too. So one day, people are going to be driving past Walsall, on the M6. They're going to point at the road sign and say, "Oh, that's Walsall. That's where that Hamza Uddin's from."
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to laugh at us in a few years. They're
No.
going to say, "That's where the boy's from." So that's the
it.
goal. That's the goal.
What do these mean to you now? Now that you see them sitting here, you've held them, you've had a little bit of time to digest over the last few weeks. What do they truly mean to Hamza Uddin?
This may sound bad, but I don't really care no more. Like, I'm greedy. I want more. I'm like, these look nice, but I want more.
Yeah.
I want every single one. I want to be covered head to toe in belts. I want one on this shoulder and that shoulder and on my waist, around my legs. Well, I want belts, man. I want loads of belts. So these are good. You know, I'm proud. You know, people work their whole lives to get these belts. People dream of getting these belts, and I've got them in only my 6th fight. So of course I'm grateful, but I'm greedy. I want more.
And to be under somebody like Eddie Hearn, I mean, there's no one bigger in boxing than you can have support from than Eddie Hearn. This man is the biggest name, huge promoter. Some of the names he's got under his belt are incredible. Anthony Joshua, just to name one of them. But he believes you're the next best thing, not just locally, but he thinks you're the most exciting talent in professional boxing. How does that feel to hear that from Eddie Hearn?
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy even just thinking about it. But listen, if someone like Eddie's saying that, you've got to half believe it. And yeah, of course, I believe it. I believe it too. With every ounce of my being, I believe it. And that's why I got to train so hard, man. Because if Eddie's saying that about you, you can't mess about. You can't mess it up, you know. It's a bit of pressure, of course, but I take it in my stride, and that's what I'm showing. Every fight, I'm getting better, getting more viewers, getting a bigger fan base, and I'm making those words a reality. Of course, we're only beginning. We're only 6 fights in. I've only turned pro last year, but the fan base I've accumulated is getting really big now, and I'm gonna make those words a reality. I'm gonna be the superstar of boxing.
So you want to make those words a reality. Another thing we've seen a lot of boxers do is fight in their hometown. I think you mentioned to him on the pitch as well. How much would it mean to you? Pallet Trap Bescott Stadium, a big title fight. It's 11,000 capacity now, but I think with the boxing on the floor, we could probably get 12, 13, 14, 15,000.
Yeah.
How much would that mean to you to get a fight at the Pallet Trap Bescott Stadium, fill it out in Walsall, lights on bright, on the telly, all the big guns of boxing coming to Walsall to watch a Hamza Uddin main event?
We've discussed it, you know. We've actually discussed it. So it could well be a reality. They're saying maybe end of next year. It could be a reality. That'd be amazing. And when I said that on the mic, everyone was buzzing. Got a really good reaction. So I'd love to. You know, that'd be like a dream come true.
Could you tell Michael Buffer that I'm the one announcing and not him?
Imagine that. You know what? That introduction that you gave me at the start, you know what? I wouldn't mind it, you know. You're
There we
decent.
go.
Not to big you up too much.
I'll
but
take
yeah,
that. Thanks.
Oh, his head won't fit through the door.
Exactly. It was a struggle getting in the first place. Before we close out this interview, we've touched on it quite a bit, with family being one of the main sources of drive and passion for you. Going forward, how important and imperative is it for you to not just have the support of your friends, your peers, you know, Eddie Hearn, and all these great names, you know, world famous broadcasters talking about you, but to have your family right beside you?
So important, you know, so important. I trust them with my life. I know that they have my best interests at heart. At the end of the day, you know, people love you when you're winning and when you're successful, and when that doesn't happen, which it won't, because I'm going to keep winning, but, you know, people can change, but I know my family won't change. I know my mum would still love me even if I was a rubbish boxer. You know, I probably wouldn't have all these fans if I was. So, you know, I do take that very important, and that's just how I've been raised. Me, my brothers, my sisters, we're all the same. You know, we're all the same. We're all equal in our eyes, and we love each other all as much. And it's really important, and to have now the community and the locals, and it is special. Of course, it is special. I've got across all my social medias hundreds of thousands of people supporting me, and I think that's what gives me strength. I'll always ask my people to pray for me. I think that gives me spiritual strength, and that spiritual strength helps me in the ring. I think that's what pushes me extra more so than my opponents.
I think something I'm really hanging my hat on, obviously listening to you, having seen your progress, and one thing I know, sport really brings people together, and it can change lives. And you've seen it in other cities where they've had whether it's a sportsman, a successful team, or as a nation when the nation wins a world championship. So my big hope is, like, you're now gathering momentum in Walsall. Walsall Football Club as well, I feel, is on an upward trajectory. And the community are coming together. The crowds are getting bigger at Walsall. We've now got a local hero to follow and give us all hope as our town. Because what you said really stuck, because I feel it too. People do look down on Walsall. People do see us as a bit of a, you know, because we're around other big cities as well, that we're just not really relevant or we're not important. But
Tryhards.
This town's, it's an honest town. There's, you know, a lot of honest people, hard-working people, and it's got a lot of history, you know, Walsall.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like our football club has now got some momentum. You've got some momentum, so we could really do something special with Walsall here. The football club yourself, I know you look at our results as well, and you keep an eye on the team. We're keeping an eye on you. So together, and the communities we're building, we could really do something special for this town. Do you agree?
We really can. It does actually offend me a bit when I'm like, when people ask me, "Oh, where are you from?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm from Warsaw." And I'm like, "Oh, is that the place in Poland?" I was like, "What? You don't know what Warsaw is? It's bad." But we're gonna put Warsaw on the map one by one. I'm gonna do what I can. The club are doing what they can, and we're gonna put Warsaw on the map. We're gonna make sure that the whole world knows what Warsaw is and who the Warsaw people are. And as long as I can keep going in boxing, I'll always have a voice, and I'll always encourage people, to be good people and to stay close to home and keep strong in their communities. And I think we've got some potential. And we're going to inspire the next generation. So we're going to have ballers in the next generation. We're going to have boxers in the next generation. And who knows, we might be a bit old, but we'll see Walsall really thriving in a few years.
100%.
Becky Hill, Georgia Smith, Noddy Holder, Hamza Uddin.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
It's a pretty good list of
Noddy Hill.
names. Don't feel my ego anymore. Hamza, this has been incredible. I know we spoke about doing this, and I didn't think it would happen this soon. But to get to sit down with you and really learn who Hamza Uddin really is and what's coming next, I think it's really exciting. It's great to have you here. And it's incredible to see your progress as well. And from one Walsall lad to another, we're really proud to have you here from Walsall as one of our own.
Of course, I like to say that although you'll see on my social media, I've got like a big mouth and, I talk a lot and then I'm showing off. And I just like to show people that I'm a normal kid. I'm just a normal kid from Walsall. Nothing special. Do all the same thing a normal Walsall lad does. I just have to put gloves on and fight people. That's all it is. And I'm here to show people that normal people can do it too. I'm not special. I don't come from a lot of money. I ain't got a famous dad, or I've not got
He could have been.
Well, he will be now. He is now. He's always on telly, but I wasn't raised with anything special. I'm just a normal kid from Walsall. And if a normal kid from Walsall like me can do it, then anyone can do it.
Before we close out this interview, I also want to say a very special thank you to Walsall College. Now, there's a lot of people behind the cameras here who are doing an incredible job, and I can see your dad nodding as well. But I really want to say a massive thank you to the college and all of you guys on camera, some young up-and-coming stars in your roles here. So thank you very much for helping put all this together. Yep, even more, ones that no doubt have a future at Sky Sports, filming you in the future or wherever they choose to, go on their path. So again, thank you very much to every one of you off camera. Paul, another great interview. Before I let Hamza close the show, this is Paul's last major involvement with the club today as he moves on to bigger and better things. I'll let him announce where that's going to be. But a little story about Paul. So Paul actually is the reason I work at Walsall Football Club. So I submitted the application, passed the date of the application day and sent a show reel in because my ego's just like yours, Hamza. You know what you're worth and you know how good you are. You've just got to try sometimes. So I sent my show reel in. Paul called me 2 days later, asked me to come in for an interview. We sat down and the rest is history. So I have to thank you for my role at Walsall Football Club. But more importantly, Walsall Football Club wouldn't have the relations within the media space that it does without you. And I think a lot more within, the online presence as well. So, Paul, first of all, I'm going to miss you. We're all going to miss you. And thank you so much. I just want you to have a few words of closing out your last involvement with the club.
Oh, thank you, Simon. It's very kind. And better late than never with that application, eh? It's been a pleasure working with you. I think you've brought a real energy to our match days. Really unique. And I know you've got a wrestling background, isn't it? And that's something that really stood out to me when seeing your show reels. And I thought that would be a really good addition to the club. And it's turned out all right, hasn't it?
Done all right.
But honestly, I've spent 6 years at Walsall Football Club. It's my hometown team. When I was doing my sports journalism degree, club media was something I was always interested in. I always wanted to. I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could get in the door at Walsall? It's such a competitive industry, and to have had that opportunity. So I'd like to thank Dan Mole actually for reaching out to me because I'd applied and he kept my CV on file actually. So really appreciate Dan for that, and he brought me back home because I was living away at the time and I was desperate to come back. I was homesick, so he brought me home, and to have represented my hometown club for 6 years has been unbelievable. So many ups and downs, so many great games, so many god-awful games as well I've had to watch. But I feel like I'm leaving the club in a really good place, and I feel like something really special is happening at Walsall Football Club, and will always hold a special place in my heart. So thank you to all the fans who've watched all the content, listened to the content, and are watching this now. It's been a blast, and I wish the club nothing but every success.
Well, keep following Paul's journey because there's a lot more to come. It's a very exciting move that I'm sure you'll announce on socials very soon. But as for this episode, ladies and gentlemen, we will have episode 2 in full coming very soon. And you'll be very excited to know that we do have a current player who's going to be sitting exactly where Hamza is right now on the next episode. As for this bonus episode, I think this has been incredibly insightful, Paul. It's been really humbling as well to see a journey that you've created. And Hamza, what I like to do on this show, and any show that I usually do, because the focus is about the guest and it's about your journey and your story, is I like to give you the floor to close the show. You can say whatever you want. Thank you, Father, over there, for putting up with it all. But Hamza, from myself, from Paul, from Walsall Football Club and the Saddlers podcast, thank you very much for today, and good luck for the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate you both. Yeah, you've been great hosts.
Thank you.
It's been good fun. Yeah, just talk about the journey and the experience, and the mad thing is we're only just getting started. So who knows where we'll be in a few years, but hopefully we'll have to come back, bring you, Paul, as well, bring you just for one last shift maybe. But yeah, it's been fun. Thank you so much, and the future's bright for not just me but for the club too. So I look forward to seeing what the future holds for all of us.
Thank you, Saddlers fans. This has been the Saddlers podcast. We'll see you on the next one.